I, 28M, messed up by asking my girlfriend, 26F, to stop talking about her late boyfriend. Her college boyfriend passed away in an accident 5 years ago. I, 28M, understand that he will always be part of her 26F life and she will always love him. Her grief and trauma and how she dealt with losing her boyfriend is a part of who she is as a person. We have been dating for 2 years. The problem is that she brings him into our relationship. Every time I make a mistake or get hurt, she always brings up how he used to treat her and how I should try to be more like him. She doesn't do it in an accusatory way, but it still kinds stings. It has been getting to me. Yesterday, I got news that I received the promotion I had been vying for. I was not very hopeful about getting it. It was a position which had many candidates from all different departments. We celebrated a little. We started to talking about how we could do all the things we had planned for. In the middle of the conversation, I joked about being too anxious about these things. She responded by saying that her boyfriend had always been so calm and collected, very chill about everything. He could just shrug off anything. I am exactly the opposite. I am anxious and a person who worries a lot. I don't know why, but it hurt me a lot. I asked her to stop talking about him. She looked offended but didn't respond, and I just ruined the night. We sat there for a few minutes before she decided to clean up and go to bed early. I feel like I am being compared against someone I will never match up to. I know that he is very important to her, but can't she cherish him without making me feel like shit? She has been distant today. I know she is hurt. She has barely spoken to me today. I feel I should have just ignored her comments and rolled with it. My message and delivery were all wrong. I feel guilty about hurting her. I should have done a better job of being sensitive about this and brought it up when she was celebrating. I want to sort this out and have a productive conversation with her so that we can deal with this issue. How need some help going about that? TL, doctor. Girlfriend compares me to her later boyfriend. It has been getting to me and I didn't approach issue in the right way, and now things are a bit awkward. I don't think you're in the wrong here. Yes, you could have been more sensitive about it, which you acknowledge and should apologize for, but I really don't think you're in the wrong. You're being held to an impossible standard, and that's 100% unfair to you. You can't even celebrate your own accomplishments without her trying to make it all about him. It sucks that it came to a head like this, but use this as a chance to finally address this issue. Even if this guy was alive, she should not be comparing you to him. To compare you to a dead person, who was likely not as perfect as she makes him out to be, is completely out of bounds. It sounds like part of her never dealt with the grief of losing him and she idolizes this dead lover. I'm sure he had his faults, too. A productive conversation starts with her agreeing to stop using him as a comparison. Whether you want her to be introspective about her feelings for this late boyfriend or not will be up to you. You cannot move forward in your relationship with a dead guy hanging over the two of you. Yes, she can grieve and miss him. That isn't what she is doing. She is using him as a tool to aid in making you feel less than someone else. Seriously, she needs counseling. Like the others, it's not weird that you feel like this. Comparing your current partner to an ex like that is not okay, even if he's dead. Yeah, you could have worded that better, but that doesn't mean you're wrong. But rather than her just stop talking about her dead partner, she probably needs counseling. But honestly, you don't have to be there for it. You deserve a partner who appreciates you, and don't compare you to others. She might be a good person, but she hasn't been a good partner to you. Don't think she's ready for a relationship with another person. It's often very hard to say things calmly or reasonably when you are hurt or angry. You don't say if you have talked to her about the issue. You really should. She hasn't moved past her late BF. People only remember the good stuff when people die, never the bad stuff. You can never be his equal, because he is dead. He can't screw up. It is not fair for her to compare the two of you. You need to tell her how it makes you feel. She is free to remember him in her mind, but not in yours. Me, 24F, conflicted about seeing friends after gaining 55 pounds in a year. Yeah, The title pretty much says it all. The last time people saw me in March 2020 I was 5'4" and 143 pounds, and now I'm almost 200 pounds. I wouldn't call it a quarantine gain because I was already on my way to gaining weight due to my binge eating and depressive episodes and birth control, but quarantine definitely took away the little exercise I used to have during the day from walking. I've been trying to hide from people and deleted my social media and avoided reaching out to friends, thinking that I'll recover my friendships once I glowed up. The past few months, I had a couple friends reach out and I definitely felt upset turning them down with various reasons as to why I can't video call or have a socially distanced meetups. Currently I feel extremely lonely, and with the vaccination and the weather, I really want to see some of my friends before I lose them. I was actually surprised that 2 of my friends reached out to meet after I've ignored them for a year. Anyway, I just feel like they will be so surprised and judge me for letting myself go, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to be myself because I'm so self-conscious now. Also, one time when I gained weight and saw one of my old fiends, she audibly gasped, "Wow." I guess my question is, when you guys meet someone you haven't seen in a year and they look much bigger, what do you think? Would it change your perspective of them? Would you lose respect for them, etc.? Too long didn't read. Anxious to see friends after gaining lots of weight. How do you deal with it? My BFF and I have been friends for almost 40 years. We've seen each other in all sorts of physical and mental conditions. I love her no matter her size, and she feels the same. Go see your friends. Life is short. I long for a friendship like this, and life is short indeed. I'm feeling more confident now to see them. Thanks for your reply. If I was your friend, I would be more worried about the fact that you isolated yourself for a year. You know, a real friend would never think less of you about your weight. But if you just dropped off the face of the planet and never spoke to them, I would frankly think you were just a bad friend. Just talk to them about it first. Be honest and say you've been struggling with your body image and mental health and you would like to see them again, but you're struggling with it. Tell them what you posted here, and if they don't take it well, they were never your friend to begin with. Are you in therapy? I think it's something you should really consider. I think continuing to isolate yourself will contribute negatively to your mental health, which will contribute negatively to your weight loss journey, if that's a thing you want to do. I would be honest with those 2 friends who reached out. Let them know how much you miss and appreciate them, but that you've been embarrassed BC you've put on so much weight. Tell them that you'd like to meet up but that you'd prefer not to discuss your weight/body, unless you do want their advice or something, but how helpful it'd be unless they've experienced a similar situation. If they are decent friends, they will be understanding. You're worth love and respect whether you've put on weight or not. I think it's great if you want to focus more on your health, but mental health is a critical part of this and you need to take care of yourself in a rounded way. Social interaction and having a strong support system can be crucial for PPA to make progress. I guess my question is, when you guys meet someone you haven't seen in a year and they look much bigger, what do you think? Would it change your perspective of them? Would you lose respect for them, etc.? This has happened more than once and I literally didn't really notice. Maybe I'm self-absorbed, but I really think it has to do more with not caring what they look like. My friends aren't my friends BC. I want to collect friend trophies I can display on a shelf. They're my friends BC. We get along, are there for each other and enjoy one another's company. I think it may also be beneficial to think about ways you would like your friends to support you. Never know what to say to friends who bring up weight struggles BC. I love them whatever their size, but it's something they don't feel good about. If your friends haven't experienced it for themselves, they may need your guidance on best they can support you. Wouldn't really care. Also, I'd the kind of relationship you have with your friends, but the few I met up with during this quarantine stuff, my city is still on lockdown, so I have barely seen my friends in last year, but at least I live with my BF. I literally told them, hey, I gained some weight over the year which I feel terrible/self-conscious about, so just be prepared lol. None of them care and they had all gained a bit of weight as well. I gained a lot more though. About 50 pounds, upside down face, been working on losing it, though. Don't really want to go back to work like this, but I am okay if my friends see as real friends don't give a F. I love my friends, it's not conditional. They are both today I fucked up people because of their heart. My 33F best friend, 32F, told me that she and my husband, 36M, had a semi-affair almost a year ago. She wants my forgiveness because she wants me back in her life. We've been married 7 years now and it was mostly okay. However, after 5 to 6 years of marriage a huge part of me wanted a divorce. I wasn't happy with who he'd become. I felt lonely. He was too caught up in work and the marriage felt stale. We had sex, but it was only because we're both HL and it didn't bring us closer or fix anything. I told my husband what was on my mind back then and it hurt him tremendously. He did start to make effort, but at that point, I mentally was checking out of the marriage. We would have separated if finances allowed it. So I told him give me time to think and we'll try to work on it. During that time, I had a small falling out with my best friend as well and we weren't chatting much either. My husband and she were always pretty close as well. He doesn't open up to his guy friends, but he said it's easier to do with women. He did ask me before if he could talk to my best friend about our issues and I told him I didn't care. Truthfully I did care, but I felt his needs outweighed mine. This led to them becoming very close. They would meet up to chat at dinner, or at pubs at least once a week. I was never suspicious until one night. He left home at 8 p.m. saying he was meeting Emily, my best friend, for dinner. He's normally back between 10 and 11 p.m., but this time he came home close to 2 a.m. I was livid. He said after dinner they drove to the waterfront to talk. The waterfront area is a well-known area in my city where couples park up and fool around. We did it a couple of times there as well. He swore they just talked and nothing happened. I stupidly trusted them. This happened 2 more times before I eventually told him he was getting too close to her, and that made me very uncomfortable. Coincidentally, she started dating another guy soon after, so they sort of stopped seeing each other. Their dating period was late summer last year, 2020, almost a year ago. However, last week she begged me to come over to talk. During this conversation, she told me how she and my husband admitted they had feelings for each other. They considered an affair or relationship but didn't want to disrespect me. She said they never kissed or had sex, but she did say they had phone sex once and exchanged nudes. She said she started dating a new guy right after this incident. She said I was right to suspect something back then. She said they were both feeling vulnerable and had no intentions for anything romantic to happen. She said for the first few dates she felt no attraction to him. She said what changed was how gradually she saw how well he understood her and made her laugh and realized that no guy she dated was as emotionally deep as my husband. I get that. He is a very good conversationalist and he and her always had a good friendship since I introduced them. While I was totally mad, I appreciated her frank honesty and understand that they were two people who I genuinely liked and part of me wouldn't even be too mad if they hooked up once they were happy. Now I called it a semi-affair because it ended before it really started. She said she only told me now because she and my husband swore they'd keep it a secret. But she said she felt it was my right to know. She begged me not to tell my husband that I knew, but I told her I could not promise her that. She said, he also wanted to tell me as well, and they deliberated long and hard about it, but decided for everyone's best interest, I shouldn't know. She said she missed my friendship so much and how I'm more important to her than any other person in her life. So, this was a week ago. I've been playing it cool with my husband since, but it's eating me up inside. I have forgiven her. I just don't know what to do. Tell him? Forgive him? Be understanding? Reddit, I really need your help. What would you do in my position? Also, please know the last 6 months have been the best in our marriage. He admitted that he was sort of having a midlife crisis and depression back then and zoned out from me. He's been a different person since, someone I truly love and can spend my life with. Too long didn't read. Discovered from my best friend that my husband and her had a semi-affair. I've forgiven her, but I haven't told him I know. I don't know if I should even tell him, or if I should forgive him.